Hello guys, welcome back to the Plant Terrace. I'm Jessica. If you have not met me, I have my main channel called Paper Terrace. I have not uploaded on this channel probably for about a year. And if you're new here, you can kind of look through my videos and see that I just do very random videos here. Just whatever the heck I am into at the time other than crafting. So mostly plant videos, bug videos. I have some new spiders that I would love to show in a different video, but today we are going to do a little favorites video. I was doing these for a while, like last year. Every month I would just share my plant favorites, and so that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, so I have probably about like 10 plants or plant related items, and if any of these items are from Amazon, I'm gonna have a link below. Those are Amazon affiliate links, but you can choose to shop from those or not. And then I also have a little list here because sometimes I forget the names of my darn plants, wouldn't you know. So this first one is something that was not always my favorite, but for whatever reason recently I have been obsessed with it. It is called the Philodendron Florida Green, and as it has matured, it gets these like kind of fuzzy stems, and I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see. I actually had to trim like a ton of it off. I just love the mature plant shape, and then I guess you can't really see what the fuzziness looks like right here, but it's really cool. And yeah, like I said, I had to trim it because it has just grown so quickly this summer. But the other thing that I love about this whole setup is this, it's not a moss pole, but as you can see, this clear pole that is holding it up, it is like refillable. So you can either put moss in it, or you can put whatever you want your plants to grow up. So I actually just have like a chunky soil mix in mine mixed with moss. But the thing I love about them is they are so easy to put together. You actually get them like they're flat and you curl them up kind of like a half circle, I guess. But then you can stack them and make them the length that you want. And I have other plants on moss poles, like one to my left here, and it can be a little tricky adding extensions, but these ones are so cool. And yeah, so I love this entire setup. So that is the first one. Also, these are not really in any order. I'm just gonna grab them as I see them. Right before I started filming, my cat knocked over one of them and made a huge mess, but anyways, so this one is my Philodendron Ring of Fire, and I got this as a 2-leaf cutting. So the 2 leaves that were the original ones were this one and this one. You can see that they're like that more mature shape. Obviously they have a little bit of browning around the edges just because they are the older ones, but I'm actually surprised they're still intact. They haven't fallen off, but I have just been in love with this. I really hope, yeah, you can totally see the coloring on that. Now, as the new leaves grow in, there'll be more of a peachy orange color, and then it does kind of mellow down and it gives you like something like this, where it's just kind of a green, light green, white variegation. But I just love the new leaves, and this is the most recent new leaf, and it now finally has that more mature leaf shape, because as you can see, the baby leaves are actually just more of an oval like this one. So I'm really excited to see how big this gets. I think I've probably had this one for a little less than a year, and I actually need to go ahead and repot it, because if I lift it up here, you can see it. The roots are basically coming out, and so I think if I give it a little bit more room to grow, it will get even bigger. So I can't wait to see how that goes. I'm gonna grab this one because I have been obsessed with this one lately, and I can't stop just like looking at it. So this is one of my first like more rare plants. I was gonna say exotic, but I guess more rare. And this is the Philodendron Pink Princess. If you guys have watched some of my plant videos, then you may have known that I had a really big one, but I did end up selling that because I was just going through a time where I was overwhelmed with plants, and that one was so big, it was taking up so much space. But this one, I just love it. I think it's so pretty, and yeah, it's grown. This is like the original leaf here. Whoops, we just watered. And so those ones are starting to probably yellow and die off, but yeah, I'm really excited to see how big this one can get. And as you can see, it's obviously really tall, so I am going to have to decide if I want to add a moss pole to it. I definitely don't want to chop and propagate this one. I just want to see how big it can get. So I am super excited to see how that goes. Okay, I'm gonna just grab this one next. This is my Hoya Crimson Queen, and recently it has started growing in some of these newer leaves with the white and pink variegation. I shouldn't have just watered these because I'm like tipping them, but you can see those white leaves there in the pot. And I just love the stems are also like pink. Here's one of the newer leaves as well. So yeah, I also love this whole setup, the little pot and then the little halo trellis. I got these from a plant subscription box, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but I loved that subscription so much. If I can think of it, I'll put it down below. I do have a bunch of unboxing videos, and I did have to stop it because I was just like, I had too many plants and I was trying to kind of be smart about my budget, but I do highly recommend that plant subscription box. Okay, so what am I gonna grab next? I think I'm gonna grab this one right here. This is the Monstera silta Picana, and you can see it's so large, but it's also like so bushy and it just grows in perfect. I'm gonna have to figure out this one too because it is starting to grow way above the top, and so I already chopped it like 4 times and it just continues to grow. But let me bring this one up close too. I have like a cat hair on my face, by the way, if you see me continually itching my nose. I just love these leaves so much. I think you can see. They just have such a nice like indentation. And I mean, it's just a really easy plant as well. I've heard people say that they have trouble with theirs. There we go. But mine is just so easy. I just set it next to my sink, so it does get a decent amount of humidity, but I don't do anything special to it. And I just wrap it around the moss pole, and I love this one. I actually purchased this one from my friend Shauna, who I mentioned her a lot in my other plant videos because I get a lot of my plants from her, and she actually has a plant shop now, so I'm probably going to try to remember to put her link below too. Okay, let's go ahead with this one. This is one of my hanging plants, and this is the Monstera Stanley Anna. I have 2 kinds in here actually. I have the green form and then I have the variegated. I also just love the little moss bowl hanger that it's in too, and I'll link that below. You can get that on Amazon as well. This one I have in my craft room, but let's see here. I just love the long, slender leaves. There's one that has the white variegation. Mine doesn't have a ton of variegation. Like you can see some little white splotches, and it does get a ton of light, but I just still love it. So this one that I'm showing you now is the green form, and it is so pretty. It's really hard to show plants like this, but anyways, I just love how it vines down and it just hangs perfectly. And it's also very easy when it gets super dry. Like there's obviously times that I'm not super on top of watering. Its leaves will start to just curl in, and it's so obvious that it needs water. So I love plants that will make it obvious that they need water, like instead of just dying really quick. So that is really nice for the way that I am with my plant care. Okay, this one's a little heavy. So next I'm going to show you an entire terrarium setup. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I love bugs, and anything that I can incorporate plants and bugs in one, I love it. So I created this mostly for my isopods, my potato bugs, and I also have springtails in here, which are also teeny little bugs that kind of just eat up and help this whole little ecosystem regulate on its own. But in here, some of the plants I have are, let's see, I wrote it down because I kind of forgot. I have the Philodendron Burl Marks Fantasy, which is a really cool, beautiful plant, but I wasn't having good luck with it on its own, so I put it in here and it has started to vine off. It does have really little leaves, and I'll come closer in just a sec, but either way, it's still growing way better than it did, and I think it looks really cool in here. I have a prayer plant, a little maranta. I have a mini soderoy, I think that's how you say it. I have string of turtles, string of hearts. What else? I have just a bunch of random stuff. I did have some mosses and ferns, but those kind of died off. But here we go. And then I just have some little decorative things in here as well. So the Burl Marks Fantasy, let's see if I can show you that. It's up in the front here. And that is what is vining like right along here. So it does have little leaves. I might be able to show you better if I took the top off. Let's see if that would work better. Well, no, we don't want to mess it up. So I think this is probably the best that we can get, but I just love it. I love building terrariums as it is. You can see some of the string of turtles there. I know there's a glare. I have an air plant. I just wanted to see how that would do. And then over here, and I'm sorry if you're squeamish and you can see some of my bugs walking around in there, but they really do help regulate this whole thing. I'm trying to make sure that's focusing. So yeah, just lots of fun things. I would make so many terrariums if I had the space for it. Okay, so the last few things that I have are more like planty supplies. I mentioned this, I'm pretty sure, in one of my favorite videos, but this is basically just a water sprayer, but the mist is perfect. Like, I don't know if you can see that. In fact, I'll just put it on my face too, because that feels nice. A lot of people do use these for like a facial spray, but I love it for my plants because it's not too much water. It's the perfect amount. And I've probably had this for a year now and it still works really well. I feel like sometimes when you get like spray bottles and things, they don't last very long. So this one is awesome, very inexpensive, and also from Amazon, or you can get it on Amazon, I should say. The next thing is Super Thrive, and it's basically a plant, I guess you would say, not fertilizer, it's like plant food. And I use this a ton in the summer, or spring and summer, like when the plants are growing the most. And it's a liquid, it's super easy. I just put like a little bit in my watering can and all of my plants get it. And I feel like I do notice a difference. I don't use, like, because I go through periods of time where I don't use it and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I should use that. And I feel like it gives my plants a little boost, and yeah, it's just really straightforward and easy to use too. Let's see, I think the last thing are these plant lights, and it might be hard to show you, but I have one behind me. It's basically a little halo light. I think you can see now. I have them all over my house. I got them also probably like a year ago, and they are adjustable. They are really cool to use as far as like they have a timer on them. They have different lighting, what am I trying to say? You can make it lighter or brighter, and my plants love them. So they are perfect for any of the plants that you have maybe in a little darker area, but they require more light. And so I feel like it gives me just a lot more flexibility where I put my plants. I also really like how it looks. Like I have one next to my terrarium. I usually keep my terrarium like in my kitchen, and where I have it, it doesn't get the most light. Terrariums don't really need like the most light, but I kind of use it just for, just to like show my terrarium as a display. And then also, since I have a few new cuttings in my terrarium, I did want them to get a decent amount of light. So yeah, I love all of those things so much. This was really fun to show you guys all of my plant favorite items. Let me know if you have any requests or if you would like to keep seeing these videos so that I will continue to film planty videos. It's really been too long, but I'm also going to be having probably some videos on my bugs as well. So I know that's not for everyone, but feel free to skip over if that's not your thing. Totally understand. And that's it for today. So I hope that you guys have a lovely day. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you later. Bye.